Well, it is 10 o'clock, so we will get cracking. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar is on enhancing your security posture with the Microsoft Secure Score. Introductions. My name is Scott Fennell. I am an account manager, a long-time member of Kinetics, and an even longer serving member of Kinetics is Bill Luman. He is our CTO, and he'll be presenting the webinar today. Thank you very much, Bill. Everyone is muted. If you have any questions, please drop these in the chat and we'll answer these at the end best we can. The session is being recorded and it will be posted on our events page in a couple of days. And I think that is everything. So shall we get cracking, Bill?
All right, thank you, Scott. I just see the odd person still joining us. Hopefully they're not too odd. Okay, so Secure Score. Okay, looks like it slowed down people coming in. Okay, Secure Score. Look, we'll start off with where to find your Secure Score, a bit of an understanding of what it is, how it is calculated, then what you can do to improve your Secure Score, and then some shortcuts that we have developed to help you with that, and why it is important. We start off where you find your Secure Score. Secure Score is in your Microsoft 365 tenancy. Now, it does actually require special rights to see it, the minimum rights being a security reader. And a lot of people may not have that in their day-to-day account. So if you can't find it on the link that I've got there, then you may need to ask us to help you get it or to get access to it for you. You can also find the actual score itself on your monthly care reports, and that is now going to be from 1st of June. The reports that come out at the end of this month will include the score on that report, and of course you can find those in the client portal. So it's how to find your Secure Score. But what is it? Okay. So this is Microsoft's measure of the implementation of the products you have purchased from Microsoft in your 365 tenancy. The pros of Secure Score, look, it's a centralized dashboard, so it's easy to get at. Once you're in there, it's easy to see what is going on. All the data feeds into one place. It includes guidance on how you can improve those scores, those measures. Gives you something, and we'll show you this a little bit later on, gives you a benchmark. So it takes companies of a similar size globally, and it says, here's how you're rating against them on the Secure Score. It includes actionable insights. Well, it's interesting, Microsoft do say this actionable insights. They already say it gives you recommendations and guidance. Then they like to, whenever they use the term actionable insights, they always go, points are awarded. So it gives you a score, points you can get it, as you'll see when you look at any feature, and it'll tell you how many points you can gain from implementing it. To do that often requires configuration of a security feature to a recommendation that they have. It can require completing of some tasks, and in some cases it can be a case of saying, hey, this is mitigated, we're using a non-Microsoft solution for this. I'll start to bring all this together in a moment. Just before we do, if you look at your Secure Score, and before you start stressing about it, just a couple of things to understand. It is not a static measure. The data can lag a little bit behind changes that are taking place. Your score will go up and down as people and devices are added and removed. New user comes on, until the process is completed, they will not have MFA set up and so on and so forth. So that'll bring the score down during that point of time. Your score will also change as license types are added or removed, because it's based on the available features to you based on the licenses that you have. It will also change As features are added, Microsoft will bring on new features or a new measure, even removed, replaced, or moved between license types. And that's so when I'm looking at two companies, they can be very similar companies, but have different scores, even with the same measures. And it can be where they are within their license cycle, because Microsoft is retiring a license and this company still has it, but this company here doesn't have that license type now. It's been replaced with a new license type, and that introduced new features. So it's not static. What I mean by the points. So here I have some examples. There's two on this screenshot. One where I could have a maximum of 4 points, and this company has 4 points for this particular measure. And the one below, they have not achieved. So the settings are there, but not to Microsoft's best recommendation. So they have not achieved all of the 5 points. Some things are you have or you don't have, and some are a gradient of measurement like this. And that can be because it's partially implemented. It might be that there are one group of users where this is implemented on. In some cases, there's another group where it's not. The logins are disabled, but Microsoft is still going to say, hey, you haven't enabled it everywhere. It could be that they have a Microsoft version of a solution within their licenses, but they are using an alternative product to deliver this, something that's better suited to their business needs. In that case, you can just go in and we actually do have to say, this is mitigated, this has been used elsewhere. It can be, this is becoming less common, but over time, Microsoft, in particular, there were some large changes where the control or the measure was against one way of doing things, and then Microsoft have introduced another way, and eventually they start measuring off of this. And if you're still using a different system for applying that policy, until you migrate, the score will go down. And of course, it could just be that it's simply not been applied yet. It could be a new measure that has been added. So when you do look at your secure score, this is what you would see. So here is secure score. And I'm just going to, yes. So here's our score on this side. Now, interesting, if you'll see here, as well as this particular client having 55%, if you're taking close notice, you will see that I do go through different tenancies. I will refer to them as clients. Most of the screenshots that you're going to see here come from test tenancies, and I have used screenshots because these are test tenancies, and we actively work against them. And if I wanted to, I'd have to lock everybody out during a period of time and say, don't make any changes. Otherwise, I could go in to show you something and it's all moved. But this particular one has a lot of products assigned to it. So you can see under the score, they have 600 points out of a possible 1,200, 1,100 points. And that's going to vary from company to company. On this side, useful, there is the comparison. So Microsoft have looked across a bunch of similar looking companies and they're gone, well, you might only have 55%, but guess what? The similar organizations are down at 43. So you're not doing too poorly there. In the middle here gives you an idea of just where you can start to improve your score, lets you know what's regressed. And in the previous one, you'll see that it spoke about, I think it was, might have been password age, and it had regressed. So I think to get a score, it has to be between 0 and 60 or 30 and 60, and that had been changed, and they're going, it's further away from what Microsoft would say the ideal is, but obviously there's been a business reason. So it'll tell you what's gone backwards, what's yet to be addressed, and then it gives you top 10 or top ones based on the score. So the ability to impact that 55%, how making changes there will lift you up that score. Now, along the top, you'll see there's a recommendations tab. If I was to click on any one of these ones here in the middle, it would take me to that recommendations tab. In the recommendations tab, everything is actionable. I can choose one of these. Sorry. I can choose one of these and click through it. It will give me more information. This particular tenancy that I'm using has a lot of these right now because we did throw a whole lot of licenses, temporary licenses at it to see what the effects would be. Some of these, I think the third one down is an example of the USB blocking items running off of, plugging my USB in something auto starts. Now, I know there's a setting here because they're using the Defender for endpoint. In this particular test scenario, I know that they were using a third-party product, but we could go in here and say there is a third-party product being used for this, and therefore we would no longer, we would therefore receive, because it's been mitigated, the points. Okay, these are all actionable, and it is a bit daunting. If I did want to look at something, I can easily follow it. If I come on to here we go. If I click on one, it will take me into it and give me a nice explanation about what it is and what I can do to improve it. So the one I chose here, sensor data. So it's actually saying I have a device that has not reported for a while. I need to clean that device out. Could be that that device is waiting because it hadn't reported for 30 days. It's waiting to be offboarded. It's been redeployed. I can click through this. It will take me and it will tell me what the device is. And you can see we've just changed the tab there and give me some information to help me go and change that score. Why would I want to do all this? Why would I want to take this time? Does it have a purpose? Well, what we're noticing here is that we're finding two external influences on why you'd want to be looking at a security score, and an internal one. The two external ones is we're finding that organizations that are vetting their supply chain, their providers, people perhaps that they are sharing information with, are beginning to ask questions to get an idea of the security stance of that organization. Please share your secure score with me. Show me that you are active in implementing security policies. I certainly know that out of Australia, we're seeing insurers start to ask this question straight off as a qualification. You're looking for cyber insurance. Show me your secure score. I want an idea of how you stand. And it's also a good good measure for an internal IT team to go, are we progressing? Are we moving? I've seen a few companies, you can actually sit there and you can become 100% on this, although it will change. You could come in next week and it's gone. Security is always a layer and a process, but certainly having a measure and saying, are we improving? Are we changing? Very valuable measure. Does have some I'm not going to say negatives about it. Some things that you really do have to take on, be aware of. So I've got here two companies' secure scores. You can see the top one is down at 55%. It's one I was using earlier. A lot of licenses are signed. One is at 71%. Okay. The top one could have a maximum of 1,100 points. The bottom one, the B client, their maximum is 287 points. So the A has already 647 points at 55. B has 204 but is at 71. It's because the measure is based on what licenses you currently have from Microsoft. So which one's more secure? The one that has implemented more items at 647 points, or the lower one which only has the 204. So it's not really, it's a measure of your stance and how you're consuming things, but it's not, let's not say it's not a guarantee of an achievement. The other thing is you can see there's a part of the secure score, which is the identity score, very much about the person. And you can see that the protecting the person, the top one, they're doing really well at that. So although they've got a lower score, the policy specific around my identity is a lot higher than the bottom one. So what I'm saying is it's a good guide. It's a good way to work through a process to say, are we improving? It's not a guaranteed stamp, okay? Which sounds a bit vague and a bit hard, right? So we're trying to simplify this for you. And there I just actually show those two scores. You made them a bit larger. And you can see that is confusing. Which one is doing better? So there is no pass mark here. Okay, I could have a pass mark simply because by having the most basic Microsoft license I could have and ticking all the boxes and having 100%. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I am more secure than somebody who has more advanced licenses and is still working through the processes of implementing or even marking off that they use other solutions to achieve those same outcomes. We've tried to simplify this for you. If you're a Care Foundation client, if you go into your client portal and you have a look under the compliance reports, and under the 365 security reports, you will find a security posture report. We started implementing a solution several months ago now. Some of you, we started sending these reports through quite early on, and as we've worked through deploying this product, it's going out to all our foundation clients, no extra charge. This is just part of what we're doing. We've been adding you in, so you might have a look and you might only have been receiving the reports for the last month or 2 months. Some of you might have them for 4 or 5 months. This takes 99 measures, 99 key measures that equate mostly to your secure score. And it says, are you compliant with this? Fully compliant, not compliant, partially compliant. And something Microsoft doesn't do, it'll say not measured. So here's a standard 99 measures. If you don't have the solution or the product, whereas Microsoft will say, therefore I'm not scoring you on it, this will say actually a good business should be doing this. Right? Don't like to use the word should, but could be doing this. It's very good in that this report, you'll see the third column in, tells you what international standards this might apply to. So some of these measures, 99 measures, are not actually in a secure score, but they are common across some of the internationally recognized frameworks for security as it applies to our Microsoft 365 cloud presence. When it is in the secure score, it does actually give you the score. We are in the process of making some of these requirements mandatory across clients, and foundation clients will be aware that we, over the last couple of weeks, have pushed out some changes across the client base. A number of them do require us to work with you because they will have a business impact, a business change. And so we can't just enforce it and say good luck. We need to work through the process, make sure staff understand what's going on and you understand the impact. These reports are there, all ready for you to look at, and you're happy to take them, sit down, talk with your site owner, your account manager. We can start to identify which ones are best to move forward, and I would suggest that people look and go, what's low-hanging fruit, what's easy to do and a low impact, and what perhaps is a higher impact and requires more planning. You'll find those reports already there in your partner portal. In a way, both the secure score, I said, how do you know how can you say I have passed my secure score? Our security posture report does give you that ability to have a set list and work through and against some international standards. What we're also going to, and we're already implementing that, what we're going to do in the coming months is we're looking at an international framework called SMB 1001. This is very important. Small, medium business. It's actually come out of Australia. It's getting backing by the Australian government. It's been taken up quite widely around the world, and it's a bit like an ISO. So say you wanted ISO 27K, obviously a lot of work to do. This understands how those security components would fit in a small, medium enterprise, and they offer for you to say, I have met this standard. So you have bronze, silver, gold standards. They certify you at those standards. You can actually go, this is what I'm happy for in my business and my risk profile. It's, like I said, getting a lot of traction over in Australia. We will be certifying for this, and we'll be able to then take people through the certification process ourselves. And that's going to be talking to our peers in Australia. That's going to be really helpful for those who want to move on to more advanced certification. Some good friends of ours in Australia have taken a few people through it, and they've found the relatively easy to do. Easy being itself a relative word. But then when they went on to do ISO 27000, they were surprised how much they had already consumed of that, and consumed already in a very practical way for a small medium enterprise. Okay, now we still have about 8 minutes to go, so we will have a look for questions. What I am going to say here is, if you do want to find your secure score, there is the link there. If you don't have the rights, please ask, or engineer can get it for you. We can actually, it doesn't give you a nice report like the posture report does, but we can export it out as a big CSV of everything that's in there. I do recommend using the security posture report as a much better way to work through that process. If you log into the partner portal, you'll find the monthly care reports are in there under the folder care monthly reports. Security posture report is under the folder, the Microsoft 365 security reports. In that same folder, you will find an MFA report. It gives a more detailed than what you find on your care report. Also very useful is the Microsoft 365 usage reports folder. Pardon me. Every month, there's all your 365 licenses, adds, removes, changes over the month, what the assignment is on the last day of the month. The good thing about all these is they're there for a year. You can download them at any point in time. Very easy to go back and reference any previous reports. And I was talking to somebody last night where they were asking some questions about licensing. So showed it to them, and they can now go back and go, well, actually, here's my comparison. What did I look like last month and the month before? And before we go and look at any questions, I do appreciate the effort everyone takes to sort of struggle through these webinars with me. If you have the time, would be great if you could do a Google review. Got a QR code there. Only nice reviews, if you don't mind. But could do something to cheer me up. Tell me, it would appreciate if you did a Google review. Now, I think, have we got any chat questions?
We do have a question from Andy, but first, thanks for that, Bill. I appreciate your time putting these together. Bill is, as a CTO role, pulls a lot of these technologies together to help deliver these services to our clients, and is absolutely key to what we do to secure and support our clients. Just a note too on some of those things that we'll be talking to clients about, things that Microsoft changed. For example, Microsoft decided that OneDrive Personal and Business will be coming together. Those are the sorts of things that may appear on the Secure Score going forward, which is why so many things appear on it, because Microsoft has so many ways to deliver services within the 365 stack. It's exceptional, and you'll see when you do look at them, you'll see some really detailed descriptions. On those, I find some of them can be a little difficult to understand. So if you are looking at them, please don't feel overwhelmed. We do sometimes need engineers to sit down with us and work through what the plan would be, and how we would tackle that.
An example of that, Scott, would be one that is on the posture report and the Secure Score, and I must say I hate it immensely, and that is the one that when you send an email will tag, "This has come from an external user." And suddenly that's the title on all your emails, and it drives me up the wall, that one.
Yes.
But it's there for a reason.
And to reiterate what you said, we see quite a few insurance forms now coming through with the please provide a screenshot of your Secure Score. And I know of other clients that have been working through partnerships, key partnerships, where the partner has asked for their Secure Score, and we've worked on that.
Yeah, so I'm particularly interested in the SMB 1001. It is much more aligned with business needs. A story from some friends that were involved right near the start of it, when they were implementing it on their company. They got one of the requirements there, and when they hit it, they went back and said, "Well, hang on, you said we have to do exactly A to meet this, but we're doing B, and isn't B actually a better solution for a small medium enterprise to implement and manage, and more secure than A?" But A was very much the corporate standard, and they went away and they have a committee of experts from all parts of the industry that looked at it and came back and said, "Yeah, actually, you're right. That's very much a corporate standard, difficult for a small business to implement, and in a way less secure than what a lot of small businesses are doing." And I think this was around remote access, and they went and adapted that standard. So very sensitive to actually what is practical to a small medium enterprise that doesn't have a full-time IT team of 6 and an unlimited budget for software.
Sure.
And in the end, you get certified. You get something that you can hand out to an insurer, to a company that's coming to you, and they say, "What's the framework you adhere to?" Here we are, we adhere to this framework, and here's the certification that we have actually met this level in this framework.
Andy, did you have something to ask? I know you're on the call and you've got your hand up. And does anyone else have any questions they could put in the chat if they would like us to answer them? And if you don't have any questions and you do want to ask your account manager, you obviously just reach out to us and we'll help you.
Yeah, I'm with a client at the moment, and we were just talking about where their level is, and they're between 40 and 60, which I think is pretty good. But he's obviously in you're more in a less high regulated sector, like healthcare and finance and stuff like that. So, is there an ideal score based on different industries, or is this an overall score that everyone should follow?
The Secure Score, like if you can say if there's an idea score, an ideal, it's hard to say that. How could 100% not be ideal? And that's part of I guess the issue. One, it does change all the time, and two, that doesn't necessarily meet with the requirements of a business. That could become disruptive to the functioning of the business. Our security posture report, I think, is a lot better for that. It's a lot more targeted on what it does and relates a lot more to standards. And I'm not beating up on Microsoft on this, but Microsoft have a number of reasons for this, and one of them, of course, is they want you to consume the product. So some of these scores can be more about, making sure you're consuming it, rather than how does that fit with your business. The security posture report, much more about actually how does security fit with you. The SMB is when we move into that, I would say that is what I think a client should be looking at. It's a lot more structured. It's not just purely technology based. There is stuff in there that says, actually, do you have a process for this? What is your policy? And that's quite important because, we can't just rely on technology. A good percentage, a very high percentage of cybersecurity issues start with something that a person does. The technology can only do so much. So having that processes and ticking off that you do actually have training and awareness, because you do rely a lot on staff knowing what is going on. I think it's going to be very good for that. And because it does also have, and literally, I mean, I've gone, hey, you've got bronze, silver, gold. You can go platinum and diamond, and really, I'm going. I think for most companies, gold is going to be where they would want to sit for one of, much more practical advice. And if you do need PCI, then you've got the platinums and so on and so forth. As you're talking about that client, that's like most of us, not a lot of regulation, not a lot of guidance from government to say, this is what we expect from you. And that's the gap that the S&P 1001 is aiming to resolve for us all, which is that question. I think everybody gets up every day and says, am I doing the things I should be doing? And that's the hard part. How do you know that? And this will help a lot.
Brilliant. Much appreciated. Thank you for that. And we're getting some good nods of heads and writing things down. So thank you.
Thank you, Bill. I do have one hand up, but I did need it as a chat. And we are out of time. Please reach out to us if you have any other questions. Thank you for joining the webinar today. And thank you very much, Bill, for your preparation, your presentation, and how you support us. So thanks, everyone.